But how about you? What do you see? What's your view or idea of 2020?
Wow. So I mean, yeah, I don't think it takes a genius to say a lot to unpack here. But if I were to wrap it up in some sort of way, I talked to you about the amplification year,
Yeah,
which was the year of 2020. And what I mean by that is whatever you were up to prior to 2020, that just doubled down in 20. I'm sorry. Yeah, before 2020, in 2020, that just doubled down and you just went even deeper on that road.
in like what form? In what?
And so if you were doing whatever, not knowing how to spend your time, you know, how to even manage your own time and have any sort of like aspirations for something that you want to get up for on a daily basis and get it done because you want to get it done.
Like career wise or just life goals in general?
Well, we can wrap it up as just life in general, which can go into your personal life, like your own health, and go into your own business, for a thought, relationships, the whole 9 yards. And so the obvious ones were the work environment. The work environment got completely thrown upside down.
Right.
The jobs that stayed alive, working from home, the ones that didn't stay alive, or I guess are permanently gone.
Yeah, which is a funny point because the industry that, or actually both industries that would have brought us together, but that we eventually connected in,
Gone.
Experiential marketing and then nightlife, yeah, both totally gone right now.
Gone. Yeah. We met over traditional marketing event interaction, person to person.
Yeah.
That is gone. Nada.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say zero. They still have some stuff at like some of the essential stores.
Yeah. And, you know,
but that's about it.
I see every now and then I see companies like they have people out with masks going out, you know, handing out, you know, things. But since the lockdown, it's like, you know,
don't wanna
most of
interact.
that stuff. Yeah. And even samples at grocery stores, like they're not doing that anymore.
Exactly.
Which actually, I mean, you know, it's another thing we've talked about is that if you can find a way to kind of break through that or like, you know, help bridge the gap, you know, because right now hand-to-hand marketing is not a thing, but if you can help bridge the gap for those companies that are, you know, losing out on business because of that,
100%.
there's huge opportunity right now.
100%.
I mean, other industries too, but sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean you proved another good point. So if you were doubling down before on self-improvement and teaching yourself and pushing your own boundaries without having somebody to tell you that, and physically, business-wise, your own personal life, 2020 may have been kind of a break for you or an additional nice, should I say, momentum for you to be able to focus on the things that you were already working on to begin with.
Right. Yeah, that's me.
Exactly, right? And so as to where each person fell, I can definitely say everybody can pretty much fall in the same boat that it was an interesting year to say the least.
Right.
Whether it feels good or bad, interesting I think was definitely the word that I would put it in. And so, but as far as opportunity, what you said, huge amounts of opportunity if you restructure your mentality and deal with the new circumstances that have been laid out and act first before the next person would find that out. But do you see, obviously we've seen a huge crush on small businesses. You yourself are in the restaurant food industry. You had your own cafe.
Yeah, I closed my cafe at the end of April. And that, I mean, was a decision that I was actually kind of unsure about at the time. My lease ended at the end of April, and so I basically had to choose whether I was going to renew my lease for another 2 or 5 years or, you know, close the cafe. And then when the pandemic and, you know, lockdown happened, then it made the decision super easy. And yeah, and that, but I know I know a ton of other restaurant owners. I know a ton of storekeepers, like, like store owners. And yeah, it's such a crazy mixed bag. And kind of like you said, it really amplified. Like some of them were kind of struggling, and just totally knocked them out of business. And then like within like a couple months, and then there was some that were like on the verge of success, and then like really struggled at first, and then found a way to like work work the system. And so now it's like
work around the little rules.
Yeah, so they're kind of still doing fine. And then there was a few businesses, the small percentage of businesses that were like basically geared, to thrive in a pandemic. And so, some companies have just been having crazy, explosions in growth.
Let's talk about that, because in regards to the new rules applied to all the different businesses that are still allowed to be open. So let's dive into that for a second, because I've noticed the consistencies tend to be very, how can I say, not on point on any level. As far as if you were to go with the idea that this rule was applied because it's trying to get a certain result, but then you really apply it to the whole circumstances, it's not being applied at all in an efficient manner.
Oh, you mean like restrictions?
Yeah, so basically, I'll be more specific. I went to the mall about a week ago, and it was a Sunday. So yeah, it was a Sunday. And at the end of the day, you expect a Sunday to be a good mall day, because it is. It's known. Everybody goes to the mall on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's why I always avoid malls.
Exactly, right? But we're thinking pandemic, right? Barely no one's going to be there.
Yeah.
Wrong. Everybody was there.
What?
It was fucking packed.
What?
It was jam-packed. And here's the funny part. You have a mall. We couldn't even find a place to park. What? That's how packed it was. I'm not kidding you. This was the Tequila Mall in South Center.
Oh, South Center, yeah.
And so me and my friend, we get there. We're like, wow. Restaurants are all kind of empty, but they all have reservations for like an hour and a half, because they only have like a third of the area available to sit in. You walk in the mall, all the main hallways, like the big middle areas, full of people, but every store had a 30% occupancy limit, so like 10 people at a time type of thing. And so every store had a line, like it was a club. And so basically, as soon as you walked in the store, it was like slightly less crowded because they had occupancy. So I guess you're like, okay, I guess we're all doing our 6 feet. But as soon as you step back out of the store, you are back into a mall zoo. Wow. And it was just people touching the same doorknobs, people touching the same balconies and ordering the same stuff. And so I'm like, okay, guys, like, do we really actually think this is going on? Or are we all just putting on this fucking nonsense?
I mean, it's crazy
bullshit
that people just like comply and then, but still go about their day, but like don't think about it. It's like if you really have some, germs to worry about. Yeah.
So what, the germs now know you're in the store? So now they're gonna
or same like
as soon as you step out, those germs are gonna
airlines. Like so I've taken some some airlines are doing really good and like not like only booking certain seats, but some of them are literally packing people in there. It's like the airport's like hella empty, everyone's space. Like I think you sent me a meme the other day, but yeah,
it's hilarious.
And then you get in the airplane and it's literally packed in. Plus it's all those people breathing together. Like what? Like how is this?
We'll toss that meme on the screen.
And then we're gonna get like people are just gonna fly all over. It's like there's just so many inconsistencies. Like you said, it's just like I don't know.
If you really want to talk, I mean, we could dive in so much deeper, but that's just like basic stuff. It doesn't take a genius. You don't have to be an expert to say, okay, well, if you called out that rule, then this will have to get applied to all of that. But you guys are being very specific on where this gets applied and where people get anal about. And so, I find it hard to, I wouldn't say believe it, but I'm finding hard to have respect for how the government is handling it.
Oh yeah. Handling it has been just terrible. I mean, mainly just because I feel like people are so rebellious and just don't want to be told what to do. But also, there's just it's like I feel like there's been inflation in the numbers, and so and there's just so much like the media is just like so this is the end of the world, and it's like so awful, and then like sorry.
What was that?
Yeah, that's something on my phone.
Put it on vibrate. Jeez, man.
Jeez. All right.
I didn't have to make that announcement in the beginning of the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to depart. Please go ahead and put your phones on vibrate, silent, and go ahead and just toss it out the fucking window, because this is the podcast Appropriate Culture, and we're going to get it in. All right, thanks for watching this clip from Appropriate Culture. If you want to watch the full episode, go ahead and check out us at appropriateculture.com. You can also check us out on social media platforms at Appropriate Culture. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.